We are live now.
Thank you so much. Mr. Alexey's office, you may like to mute yourself. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Parminderjeet Kaur, Director East and Northeast for ASSOCHAM. And on behalf of ASSOCHAM family and industry members, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to this forum. I extend special welcome to our partners, International Institute of Business Network from Russia, being led by Ms. Ekaterina Lebedeva, and Rifma Center in India, being led by Dr. Girish Munjal, for proposing and preparing this session. We shall have detailed presentation and discussion with them later during the program. We are honored and privileged to have with us Honorable Minister Mr. Shobhandev Chattopadhyay, Honorable Minister for Power, Government of West Bengal, and joining us today are eminent guests Mr. Ramanindra Narayan Kalita, Chairman Mtron, Government of Assam, Mr. M.K. Yadava, Managing Director Mtron, Government of Assam. We are privileged to have with us Mr. Deepak Meglani, Consul General of India at St. Petersburg, and Mr. Vineet Kumar, Chairman, Kolkata Port Trust. Both these gentlemen will join us in a while. I would like to extend warm welcome to Mr. Alexey Idamkin, Consul General of Russian Federation in Kolkata, along with Mr. Vladimir Emov, Deputy Head representing Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Russia in St. Petersburg, and joining them, we have industry leaders, Mr. Mikhail Petrov, Deputy CEO of Power Machines, and represents the interest of the power sector from Russia. Joining us to represent the interest of the technology company is Mr. Vadim Kokotkov. Mr. Vadim represents RUSSOFT Software Developer Association and is also co-owner of Pitron, one of the leading technology business. We also have Ms. Ekaterina Lebedeva. She is the VP of St. Petersburg Chamber of Commerce, and today she is representing the interest of port-related organizations in this forum. Welcome and delighted to connect, Ekaterina. It's indeed after a long gap. Our last meeting, I think, was when I was in St. Petersburg about 2 years back. Welcome, all of you. ASSOCHAM, as apex industry body, has a vision to be a partner in national building. And in this regard, we have been engaging with the industry members and government stakeholders for ensuring business continuity of bilateral commercial trade and investment. The engagement with the partners in a post-COVID-19 world is significant, and we strongly believe that amidst this global challenge of century, the inherent and the essential strength of the Russia-India friendship is a great advantage, and that the sense of trust, solidarity, and willingness to work with each other, cooperate on the projects that underlines the friendship will help us together tide over this difficult time. These two great nations, our two great countries, have been having close ties for decades, and the partnership has grown in strength with every passing year. There are several key stakeholders who are working jointly, mutually in some of the key sectors. However, there are opportunities for greater cooperation in the newer sectors. And ASSOCHAM, as industry body, we have had the opportunity of hosting joint activities with our counterparts in Russia. ASSOCHAM Eastern region, while engaging with the state government of West Bengal, Assam, and the northeastern states, have had the support of the Consul General of Russia in Kolkata. The current series of engagement from the region, especially with St. Petersburg, began in 2017, when a 40-member team from Kolkata traveled to St. Petersburg, and 2 of the cooperation MOUs were signed by us. This relationship continued as a group of business entrepreneurs from Russia traveled to Kolkata to participate in ASSOCHAM activities in 2018 and 2019. We are in fact grateful to Consul General of Russia in Kolkata as well as Indian Consulate General Office at St. Petersburg for all the support and guidance, and we look forward to this. Today, this meeting with our partners IIBN and Rifma-CELLC, and supported by CG Office of Russian Federation in Kolkata, is here to further support this economic cooperation. And I'm confident our partner IIBN and Rifma-CELLC shall take this relationship forward. I welcome you all once again. Ladies and gentlemen, Now, please join me as I would like to welcome Honorable Minister Mr. Shobhandev Chattopadhyay, Honorable Minister in charge, Department of Power, Government of West Bengal, for his opening remark. Honorable Minister does not need a formal introduction. He is a man of all seasons who has remained at the center of socially enabling activities, a poet, literature, mountaineer, boxer, trade union leader, and social worker. He is a visionary leader in true sense and spirit. He has been active in Indian politics for more than 50 years and hold the office of Minister of In Charge, Power Department, Government of West Bengal. He is a strong advocate of environment protection and often engages and personally nurtures trees and plants. Being a minister of the Power Department, he reinvigorated renewable energy power projects under his department with the intention of reducing the carbon footprint. Honorable Minister, sir, we know you. You are a person who is full of energy and vigor, who has always motivated, supported private industry and encouraged us. Welcome, sir, and may we request you to kindly inaugurate this first Interregional Economic Conference and share your thoughts, sir, with us and present the opportunities that are there for the private industry in the state of West Bengal, the state that means business, and especially in the power sector. Honorable Minister, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Before I start my subject, I would like to say something about me, because in my young ages, there was an organization, very strong organization in West Bengal, Friends of Russia. I was very actively working with them, and I had been to Gorky Sadan several times for meeting and all this. And second point, that I landed in the Moscow airport in the year 1973 when I was going to join World Youth Festival at Germany. You know that, the World Youth Festival. And that was, I was inspired by that when I landed the land of revolution, first revolution in the world. I was very much enthusiastic at that time. So before I start, I'd like to say my Russian friends, those who are present over here, that my connection with the Russian, many times my photograph came out in the books published from the Russia also. So my relation with Russia is a long time relation. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be here and virtually meet Mr. Alexey M. Idamkin, Consul General of Russian Federation in Kolkata, Mr. Vladimir Vassilievich Yapilov, Head Representation of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Russia in St. Petersburg, and eminent leaders from Russian side. I'm pleased to be here with Mr. Deepak Miglani, Consul General of India at St. Petersburg, Mr. Vinit Kumar, Chairman, Kolkata Port Trust, and Mr. M.K. Yadav, MD, and Tron, Department of Information Technology, Government of Assam, and Mrs. Parminderjit Kaur, ASSOCHAM, and other industry members and organizers of this program. It's a great pleasure to be here among you all. Historically, India and Russia has been the partners for more than 7 decades. Diplomatic relations between India and Russia began even before India achieved independence in the year 1947. Post-independence, the goal of Indian government was to attain economic self-sufficiency through investment in heavy industry. The then Soviet Union invested in several new enterprises in the areas of heavy machine building, mining, energy production, steel plants, etc. In the decade 2000, the visit of President Putin in India and visit of Indian Premier to Russia, the partnership acquired a new qualitative character, that of strategic partnership. On different occasions, President of USSR and Prime Ministers of India visited both countries, which strengthened bilateral relation and friendship. During this time, The 18th annual bilateral summit was also held, which saw the adoption of the historic St. Petersburg Declaration, vision for the 21st century, and signing of 12 agreements in economic and political areas. Following years 2018 and 2019 was witnessed several partnerships in energy, defense, new sectors, agro, technology, and healthcare. In today's terms, Russia is among the top 20 trade partners of India. The main commodities exported by India to Russia are pharmaceuticals, machinery, coffee, tea, organic chemicals, and electronics, etc. India and Russia recorded a trade of $11 billion in 2019, which is 2.3% more than it was in 2018. During that period, exports from Russia to India were around $7.3 billion, and imports were around $4 billion. Engagement in this sector, as food processing, agriculture, infrastructure, medical equipment, and education, will further strengthen the strategic India-Russia cooperation. St. Petersburg, a historical city and an economic center, is known to the world for its thousands of beautifully preserved historic buildings of a rich architectural mix. Its culture and its touristic destinations and the business opportunities in service sector of shipbuilding to oil and gas, aerospace, electronics, chemicals, and textiles. Much of this can also be said for Bengal, the state strategically located in the east coast of India and is the gateway of Southeast Asia, Northeast India. The state shares international borders with Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and is well connected with the booming hubs of Asia. Bengal has richness of history and culture, and our modern trade includes financial services, technology, smart infrastructure, clean power, innovative textiles solutions. Pre-COVID times, West Bengal, with a GSDP of USD 155.32 billion, ranked the fourth largest contributor to India's service GDP and sixth largest contributor to India's manufacturing GDP. West Bengal has a strong consumer base, vibrant industry, large talent pool, industry-friendly, stable policies, transparent governance, and record social and physical infrastructure development. Our government is committed towards the inclusive and sustainable development, and that is why we have a number of industry-friendly policies. The state has more than 200 industrial parks, estates, multi-product growth centers, and industrial parks with plug-and-play infrastructure available for investments. In terms of ease of doing business, we have ensured that there is time-bound services, delivery, transparency, and easy access to information and business processes are streamlined. For some of my friends, they may know that West Bengal had the 44th International Kolkata Book Fair this year in January, and Russia was the focal country. Kolkata Book Fair is the largest attended book fair in the world. Thus, we are eager to welcome art, culture, and business from Russia to our state and to Eastern and Northeastern region. Tea has been among the major trade commodity from this region, and we are certainly eager to have further growth in this trade as well as explore new opportunities in IT and ML services, healthcare, and other services. As a power minister, I'm certain many of my friends here would like to hear something about the sector. India's power sector is one of the most diversified in the world. Sources of power generation range from conventional sources such as coal, lignite, natural gas, oil, hydro, nuclear power, to viable non-conventional sources such as wind, solar, and agricultural and domestic waste. India holds the third position in generation capacity in the number of customers. India's power sector is one of the most diversified in the world, with thermal about 64%, large hydro about 13%, nuclear 2%, renewable 21%. But the pandemic has worst affected the power sector with sharp downfall of demand and recovery as well. In 2018 and 19, West Bengal was the fourth largest economy in India. The overall power generation in West Bengal is 10,490 megawatt. The power sector demonstrates a flawless public governing system in all three aspects of generation, transmission, and distribution. We are also a leading power generating state by enabling effective utilization of its natural resources. The state has a strong pump storage-based idle power capacity and potential. The government is also concerned about the green power generation. The present solar capacity is 130 megawatt. However, the government is about to build 2,000 megawatt solar power in Dadanpatro, East Midnapur, in two phases, 120 megawatt and 75 megawatt respectively. The government is concerned to preserve the green alluvial soil and plans to use floating solar to the extent of 5 megawatt floating solar power has been commissioned in Shagordegi. The government has also taken all possible measures to restrict emission of SOx, that is sulfur dioxide, NOx, nitrous oxide, and carbon dioxide from the thermal stations for environmental protection. I'm happy to share with you both the WBT-SCTCL and SCTCL are among the top performing utilities in India. In the last 5 years, WB-SCTCL has invested around 3,000 crore for system improvement. Therefore, it can be said that West Bengal not only has power, but the state is also equipped with transmission and distribution infrastructure according to the need. The robustness of the power network can be understood with the fact that WB-SCTCL is maintaining 143 extra high voltage substations, and WB-SCTCL is having 705 numbers of distribution substations. In view of augmenting the distribution infrastructure, WB-SCTCL will be investing 20,000 crore in the next 5 years. West Bengal is only state giving power to its consumers for 24 hours. To keep ahead in technology front, WB-SCTCL has been implementing the smart grid pilot project at an estimated cost of 8.5 crores INR in Siliguri. The project is expected to improve billing efficiency as well as customer satisfaction. CSC Limited is also working on the smart meter implementation project with support from USTDA to enable integration to smart meters and automated meter reading. The power sector in West Bengal has achieved significant improvement over the years. 2% of the total power requirement of the state is met from renewable energy sources. There is a need for optimally harnessing the RE potential in the state. The state government has been putting increased efforts promoting energy efficiency within the state under the able leadership of Srimati Mamata Banerjee, our Chief Minister. Following 100% household electrification, the government is working to improve the power reliability with this enriched lives of citizens and help the inclusive growth by positively impacting industry, education, awareness, health, and economic development in rural and isolated areas of the state. The state government is providing all necessary support to the power utilities in achieving the various milestones and targets outlined in PFA roadmap. I would also like to highlight the coal sector is an area where incidentally government of West Bengal is planning to venture. At present, WBPDCL is servicing almost 50% of its total requirement, that is 45,000 metric ton from its captive coal blocks. Therefore, there is a potential related up to mining related to manufacturing. West Bengal recently witnessed a power infrastructure challenge, and as we had cyclone Amphan, and our target is to invest more than Indian rupees 20,000 crore in next 5 years. We are upgrading our power infrastructure and also emphasizing renewable. I would like to invite our companies as well as other technology and other sector companies to explore business in West Bengal. We mean business and are open to partnerships with our states-run agencies or otherwise in the field of renewable energy or in the field of thermal power. What I would like to say is that the industrial and commercial opportunities are opening up in a fast pace in West Bengal. There is a power, there is a water, and land is available from the land bank. In addition to those factors, location's advantage and availability of skilled manpower are other two most important factors why you should consider for setting up of new industries in West Bengal. I would invite you all to explore West Bengal for business and as well as for tourism. I am thankful to the organizer, there is ASSOCHAM, for having invited me today. The initiatives such as those towards enhancing and cooperation among the industry, states, and governments are essential, and I'm confident today's outcome shall benefit industry members on both the sides. The successful synergy of such forums where partners are present with the objective to bring together technology, research, development, manufacturing, opportunities, employment generation together, we can certainly witness both in the economic relations. In my personal opinion, for growing vibrant relations, associations must come forward to suggest the steps that need to be taken to connect the younger generation of India and Russia in future stakeholders in the partnership. With these words, once again, I thank all my Russian friends, other industry, coming from other industry, also to look east and look West Bengal for further growth. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. It is always an honor and privilege to listen to you, and today we are having you with us to inaugurate this Interregional Economic Conference. Sir, we would take up some more discussions with you. We have Mr. Mikhail Petrov. He's representing the power sector association there, and they also have a large company. So we will come back to you. And as you rightly said, sir, Bengal means business, and there is already support which is being extended by you. And I'm certain with the presence of Mr. Deepak Meghdani here and Mr. Alexey Idamkin in Kolkata from the Russian side, we shall be able to take this relationship forward. The Association of Kolkata and St. Petersburg has started, and we will definitely like to add more to it. Mr. Idamkin, I will now come to you, sir. We heard Honorable Minister sharing his wonderful youth days when he was part of the association and Friends for Russia. So his own association, his personal association with Russia is very long and old. Sir, you have been connecting and supporting the Indian companies here and the Russian companies to come to the East and Northeast. I would like to have your perspective for taking this relationship forward. Over to you, Mr. Alexey Idamkin, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the Consulate General of the Russian Federation in Kolkata, I'm pleased to welcome Honorable Minister Chettopadhyay, distinguished guests, diplomats, and all the participants today of the first Kolkata-St. Petersburg Interregional Economic Conference. I would like to thank ASSOCHAM for hosting the event, and Rifma-CELLC and International Institute of Business Network in St. Petersburg for organizational assistance. As you know, this year, both countries celebrate the anniversary of the path-breaking declaration of strategic partnerships. Big year. As you know, in October 2000, it was signed in New Delhi during the state visit of Russian President Vladimir Putin to India, and it paved the way to a closer interaction between our countries. And after a decade, in 2010, the relations were upgraded to a higher level, to the level of a special and privileged strategic partnership. You know, a lot can be said about the intensity of political ties, of defense cooperation, but we just to say in a nutshell, the recent developments illustrate the closeness of ties. You know, even during this time, the difficult time, we had quite fruitful and intensive cooperation, intensive dialogue with India. You know, in June and in September, the defense minister of India visited Russia for multilateral events and for bilateral talks, and then Minister of External Affairs was also there in September, very recently, where he spoke with Sergei Lavrov, his counterpart. But today, since we focus on economic cooperation, I will also focus my short intervention on that. You know, we set for the last few years, we set quite high targets of bilateral trade, and now it's set. We aim at 30 billion in trade and 15 billion in mutual investments by 2025. Well, but of course, we must admit that economic cooperation is slightly lagging behind the political, cultural, military, and multilateral and other sorts of partnership with India. So, and now it's during the time of a pandemic, which changed our lifestyle. The task is getting even more challenging. Well, the honorable minister pointed to a few areas where we can cooperate. I totally agree that there are quite a wide spectrum of areas. And of course, what comes to my mind, first of all, is cooperation energy. Of course, everyone knows that there is a huge project, the Kudankulam nuclear plant, one part of energy cooperation, which is known, but of course there is huge potential in carbohydrates cooperation, which by the way, there's an interesting fact that the single largest institutional investment, foreign direct investment in India, is into the Nayara Power by SR Rosneft joint venture with Vladimir funds in Gujarat. But anyway, so besides, of course, the carbohydrates, energy is a huge subject. Again, coming to Bengal, which is the energy powerhouse of India, we must admit that. So there's a lot of fields which here we can cooperate. We have a representative of power machines here, the company which is an expert in this field, and turbines and all kind of equipment for thermal power stations, and probably much more other different types of heavy equipment. This interesting sphere, as you know, that the company is constructing a power plant in Bihar, not far from here. Barh thermal power station. And another energy sphere, which is also seems quite promising for me, is the renewables, the solar energy, the wind energy, the clean energy in general terms, which well, it's the future of our planet. Slowly, the trend is that we are, if not phasing out other ways of energy, but we are moving towards cleaner energy, and that is important vista of population. Of course, there are few joint industrial projects which everyone knows in Bengal, the Durgapur and Burnpur plants, steel plants, where Russian engineering thought was very successfully applied in the past, and in current times also in a limited scale, but still. But there's also quite also Rourkela in Orissa, not far from here, Rourkela plant in Orissa and Bokaro in Jharkhand, in this area. This is a famous joint projects which are the main, one of the most important steel production plants in India. So here also we have potential for cooperation. And again, but this is the big businesses. Also, I would say a few words that since we are talking about regional cooperation, I think for small and medium enterprises, there is again a lot of opportunities to develop relations, and we have quite good examples. Well, there are quite many forums in West Bengal, and I believe in Russian regions, St. Petersburg, for example. So speaking about Bengal, since I'm here for 3.5 years, there is the major event for business, the Bengal Global Business Summits, which were held every year before. Now the government decided to move to biannual basis. But we had quite good cooperation from different fields. We had food industry one year, and we had the shipbuilding industry participation, quite significant participation. So I think that is also a good opportunity to rub shoulders, to make contacts between the businesses. And also there are quite many smaller niche events in the Eastern India. Well, for example, the Asian Mining Congress is a regular event in Kolkata, and there are similar events in Jharkhand. But in Kolkata, the last year was maybe 5 or 6 major Russian companies were taking part quite successfully. And there are other interesting events happening here on IT and cybersecurity. This sphere is also becoming more and more important, because we're talking about the new paradigms of the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, it changed the equations, and as you know, a lot of companies, digital companies, globally got bonus. They got quite good bonus in revenues and in growth. Well, I hope the pandemic will be over soon, but still we can capitalize on that intellectual base of the software and engineering and digital IT sphere, because that is how that is also a big trend. So I think we have a representative of the IT sphere, Mr. Vadim Kokotkov. He will hopefully explain more what can be done in that particular area. And also, I was thinking that since it's connected to the IT sphere, the online trade is also a global increase. As we all know, the Amazon has I think got 20-30% in stock during this half a year of pandemic, and similar with other online. So together with IT, the online trading platforms, the online shopping, can be also a benefit for both businesses, because I agree that the disruption in air traffic stopped a lot of interaction between businesses, but the trade, the movement of goods were never hindered. They were only hindered because the personnel who were in charge were quarantined. But otherwise, the cargo or aircraft, the ships, they were always allowed. The cargo was moving freely, even in these difficult times, or in the peak times even. So that is another sphere which we can think of cooperating. And well, pharmaceuticals is another area which was mentioned by Honorable Minister, and it's, again, the possibility to combine the Russian intellectual capital and the Indian intellectual capital together, plus Indian production base. Indian companies are, the pharmaceutical companies are famous in the whole world, or one of the largest in the world, the industry. And a recent example, everyone is asking me about the vaccines. So probably you read in the news that there are talks between the Gamaleya Institute and the RDIF, the Russian Direct Investment Fund, with Dr. Reddy's laboratories about the joint production and vaccination, vaccine here and vaccination in India. So the company, Dr. Reddy's, are applying for tests to the relevant authorities. And the process has started, so to say. So just an example. So I think I'm speaking too long. So I hope that the participants will elaborate on more specific details, what can be done, how to connect the businesses of eastern part of India. First of all, West Bengal and other states. I cover 13 of them, all northeast, and 4 states of the plains. And I wish the conference participants, and yes, constructive talk. I'll be here listening, and maybe we will take part in discussion later. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. We will look forward to your presence. And as I shared in the beginning, our partners have this time for today's discussion chosen power, technology, and port and shipping, as you mentioned. And thank you. You have given the way forward for others to work with regard to future partnerships in healthcare and pharma and logistic and e-commerce. So I think there's a lot for the industry partners to work together and take forward. I would just slightly move this discussion and have the perspective of industry partner now that we have Honorable Minister here, and power is something we have discussed. So I would invite Mr. Mikhail Petrov. He is the Deputy CEO for Strategy, Head of Strategy Marketing, Power Machines, and represents the thought process of the power industry from Russia, eager to have some opportunity in the Eastern Northeast. And after Mikhail has spoken, we would move towards the input on the port sector. So Mikhail, I would request you to kindly follow the time which has been allotted to you, and over to you. Please go ahead with your presentation quickly.
Sure, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you very much to organizers of this event, and thank you to all esteemed guests, to Honorable Mr. Minister of Power, Mr. Chattopadhyay. Thank you very much for getting together. For us, it's a great opportunity. It's very important for us to be able to get in touch and to share our interests, and to see how it corresponds to the expectations of India, of our Indian colleagues, of our customers. I have a presentation. I will speak first, present quickly our company, Power Machines, and then I will move to some specific questions that we would like to discuss, maybe not even today, but further in our dialogue and further contacts. Our company is a major Russian producer of generating equipment. We produce equipment for thermal power plants, nuclear power plants, hydropower plants. We produce boiler equipment, industrial energy generating units, equipment for transport and ship power plants, and we also produce power transformers. Our company is, it's based in Russia. We have some foreign assets, and we have several production facilities in Russia, in St. Petersburg, and in 3 other Russian cities. There's a number of units who specialize in the equipment that I have just mentioned. Our product mix is presented here on this slide. Mostly we specialize in steam turbines and hydraulic turbines, and a part of our product mix is basically electrical equipment for transportation and sales sales of service and spare parts. We offer say a full cycle of services, starting from engineering, production, and ending with final services to customers. And we also do EPC for thermal power objects, for thermal power projects. As I have mentioned, we have presence in many countries, and we have supplied our equipment to 57 countries so far. Here they are highlighted on the map, and basically our company takes the 4th place in the world in terms of the amount of installed equipment. We have a very long history of presence in India. For decades we have supplied our equipment to for Indian projects, and we also have a very long history of cooperation with Indian production companies. For example, in the Soviet times, Power Machines have cooperated and helped to establish the leader of Indian energy machine building, Bharat Heavy Electrical. We have transferred our technology to this company then, and we are eager and open to work with Indian companies in technology transfer today. I will speak about, and I will get back to this point later in the end of my speech. So, as I have mentioned, we have competences in basically in all areas of power. Here the information is it's maybe more, say, technical. I will not stop in details in this, but let's just say that our company has experience in all ranges of power of generating equipment, starting from small units for hydro and thermal, ending with large turbines for nuclear power plants. We, as I have already mentioned, we are supplying equipment to not only for power but also for shipbuilding, for mining, and for railway transportation. So that's also one of the area of our interests that we would like to find a partner in India for. So basically, our equipment, as I have mentioned, it's meant for it can be used not only in just specifically power generation, but in industry like oil and gas, coal, metallurgical industry, chemical industry, basically everywhere where energy is needed in large amounts. We also have experience in equipment for electric grid, and our plant here in St. Petersburg manufactures equipment for up to 750 kilovolts. So basically these transformers can be used everywhere, and up to the largest transformers for nuclear power stations. So Basically, now I would like to get to the point of my message and specific suggestions we have for discussion. As I have mentioned, power machines have contributed to development of Indian generation industry, and now we see that our Indian partners, machine building companies, they are working on further localization of production of equipment. We recognize the importance of this. I think that this is something that is very similar between Russia and India. In recent years, we also realized that it's very important in order to be sustainable. It's very important to have local competence for production of such important equipment as generating equipment. And we fully understand our Indian counterparts. We already have.
Right, Mikhail, I think I would like you to continue, but since you mentioned about the partnership with the Indian partners and your products and services being used by the heavy industry, shipping, infrastructure, everything, we have with us Mr. Vineet Kumar. He is the chairman of Port Trust of Kolkata, one of the biggest and the oldest port in this part of the region. It would be interesting if we can have his perspective also on this topic, and then we can have further discussion with you that will benefit you as well. So, Mr. Kumar, sir, I would request you to kindly address us.
Honorable Minister from Government of West Bengal, Mr. Chattopadhyay, Mr. Idamkin, Consul General of Russian Federation in India, Mr. Meglani, Consul General of India in St. Petersburg, other panelists, Mrs. Parminder Kaur from ASSOCHAM. A very good evening to all of you. At the outset, let me thank ASSOCHAM for giving me this opportunity to be here with you and be a part of such an interesting discussion. Calcutta and St. Petersburg, they both have a natural bond, I would say. Both are very historic cities, old cities, and both are port cities. So what I could gather that Calcutta is an old port city, and likewise St. Petersburg is also an old port city. They have a very big port infrastructure there, and likewise Calcutta, it's very historic. So there is a natural bond, and ASSOCHAM has taken this initiative along with both the consulates to take this bond further into the economic space and create a relationship for the benefit of both the countries as well as the regions. I would just like to mention that Calcutta is the oldest major port in the country. We are 150-year-old port, and we can say we are the gateway to the Eastern India. We not only serve West Bengal, but we serve the entire region of Bihar, Jharkhand, northeastern states. So all the entire Eastern India, which is rich in steel industry, mining, food industry. So there is a wide, there is a big space there which we serve, and not only we serve the the Indian states, but we are the only port who serve the neighboring countries like Nepal, Bhutan, and we have a close connection with the Bangladesh. A lot of river traffic goes to Bangladesh also. The infrastructure, we have the as of now world-class infrastructure in the ports. We have one port system in Calcutta, and we have another port system in Haldia, which is a little bit downstream from Calcutta. Both the ports put together, we do around 64 million tons of cargo in a year, and the cargo profile is also is quite diverse. In Haldia, we do all kind of bulk cargo, be it coal, be it iron ore, all kind of bulk cargo, and we have fully mechanized operations available there. We deal all kind of liquids, petrochemicals, gases, LPG. We are already handling. Now we are trying to come up with LNG facilities. We are creating facilities for LNG handling, And Calcutta being a city port, we are primarily, dealing the containers here. And we do around 0.8 million containers in a year. So, and that too, the entire operation is fully mechanized. We have very good road connectivity. We have very good rail infrastructure in both the ports. So the lot of traffic is dealt on the rail. I could find some interesting rail technologies being available there. Another, I think, feature which is common to St. Petersburg and Calcutta port is the river network. To my understanding, the St. Petersburg port is also connected to the river network, and there a lot of transportation is done on river. We in India are looking for promoting the river transportation as a means of transportation. So I think there is an area where we can look forward to some kind of gaining of knowledge from St. Petersburg in this area. Now, Calcutta Port Trust has also, being the terminal port, the end port, we have good ship repairing facilities. We have recently started that, and there can be some possibilities in the ship repairing space, and we are expanding into that. We already have a facility. We are coming up with another facility very soon. So these are another area where I look forward to kind of cooperation between the two regions. Coming to the traffic and which the Calcutta port handles for Russia, while the volumes are not very great, but there is one significant factor which I see. It has almost doubled in the last 5 years. Like in 2015-16, we handled around 5,000 containers for Russia, but today it is more than 10,000. So the absolute numbers are not very great, but yes, there is a good growth, I can say. This West Bengal is known for its tea, the Darjeeling tea, the seafood, a lot of rice. So all this is regularly exported from our port to Russia, and I see that there can be this can be increased. There is huge potential available for all these things. Be it tea, be it rice, the best quality of tea is produced here. The best quality of rice is available in West Bengal. I think we can look forward to this. We get a lot of newsprint, industrial raw material, a lot of peas, plastic products from Russia. This is another commodities, which we are getting from Russia. Some of it might be coming from that region of St. Petersburg. So there exists an opportunity, and we can take it forward. Broadly, I would see that there is technology space where we can look forward to some collaborations. I understand there are quite good technologies as regards flotation and shipbuilding and ship repairing available in Russia. So that is one area where we can look forward to. I could see there is a lot of expertise available in the power space with the Russian companies. But in our ports, both the ports, we have investment lines lined up to the tune of around 1,000 crore, even more than 1,000 crores. A lot of mechanization projects are coming in. So there is an opportunity for the Russian technology and investment to come in our port sector, because we are further modernizing our ports, moving towards more mechanization, end-to-end mechanization, all that. So there we are. I look forward that there can be some technology inputs and some investment coming from there. Third area, I would say that Honorable Minister has also said that Bengal means business. In Haldia, which is our second port, there we have a lot of. It is basically a chemical hub. There we have a lot of space, land available. So there is opportunity of setting up port-based industries in that region. Maybe petrochemicals or maybe plastics or steel. So all these opportunities exist here. We would definitely love to know as to what all opportunity exists on the other side, and where are the areas which we can collaborate. But as I said in the beginning, I see that there is a natural, similarities in both the places in Calcutta and St. Petersburg. And I hope that this seminar takes it forward and turns it into a reality for both Calcutta as well as St. Petersburg. I would like to thank ASSOCHAM for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts and this lovely opportunity to understand and hear from all the experts in there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. You have really given your valuable input, especially for Mikhail, and you also have Ms. Ekaterina, who's representing the interest of port industry from St. Petersburg. So you have really given them the idea of the kind of opportunity which is there, especially with the modernization thoughts which you have shared. There is huge opportunity for the technology and the heavy industry and the power sector to come forward. Thank you for your thoughts, sir. I would request Mikhail to continue with the last one or two thoughts which he had in terms of his PowerPoint presentation. If you would do that, and in that, after that, we would move on to our Consul General of India at St. Petersburg, Mr. Deepak Meglani. So over to you, Mikhail, quickly for the last minute inputs which you wanted to share with us.
Sure, thank you. Yeah. So basically, what I was getting to is that, well, currently our areas of focus in Indian markets are solutions for modernization of 200 megawatt turbines, which were supplied in previous years in Soviet times by our plant, or which were manufactured by BHL, Bharat Heavy Electricals, under our design that we transferred. And the second area of interest is the turbo generator sets for nuclear power plants. As we know, there are upcoming nuclear power projects in India, and that's definitely something that we are interested to participate in. If speaking about some specific questions that we have, and basically what's important for us as business, it's to identify the projects that we can contribute to, because you know, sometimes it's very important to know in advance which projects are planned, so we can prepare our best offer. So that is why we would like to kindly ask, if possible, to share with us the ideas on plans for modernizations or some new projects in West Bengal, which or projects in areas of hydro and thermal power plants. Especially, we are interested in modernization of our design 200 megawatt turbines, which were supplied to Kalagat and Durgapur power plants. These turbines have already served for a very long time, and they definitely require. We think that they require some improvement and modernization. We can do this. We are ready to enter into technological tie-up, because, as I have mentioned, we understand that it's crucial for a current Indian policy to have the local production of equipment. And we're ready to do this. And we are definitely interested to hear if there are plans or ideas for nuclear power projects in the state of West Bengal. So that's, if to speak specifically about the questions that we have. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And I think you heard Mr. Vineet Kumar talk about the modernization. So that's one opportunity, certainly, which your organization can look at. Ladies and gentlemen, let me have the privilege to invite Mr. Deepak Meglani, Consul General of India at St. Petersburg. Sir, over to you. You heard Power Minister, you heard Mr. Vineet Kumar, and you heard Alexey. So, sir, your perspective on taking this regional cooperation further.
Am I audible? Okay. Honorable Minister of Power, Government of West Bengal, Shri Shobhandev Chattopadhyay, Mr. Alexey Idamkin, my colleague, Consul General of the Russian Federation in Kolkata, Madam Ekaterina Lebedeva, Vice President of the St. Petersburg Chamber. Ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar, Dobry Den. It is indeed my pleasure to connect with all of you through this video conference dedicated to cooperation between Kolkata and St. Petersburg. I am happy that despite the global pandemic, we have managed to find a way to discuss the potential for cooperation between our two friendly cities. Minister Sir, people of St. Petersburg are very welcoming towards India and Indian culture. Relations between our two and mutually beneficial cooperation. This is a strategic relationship which has stood the test of time and enjoys the support of both countries at the highest political level, government officials level, as also people-to-people level. Indian and Russian leaders meet regularly at different forums, summits, and bilateral meetings. Sir, in today's world, commerce and culture go hand in hand. History has witnessed that for successful commercial relations, respect for each other's culture serves as a very useful bridge. As an Indian, it is a matter of great pride for me that St. Petersburg hosts Guru Rabindranath Tagore Hindi School, where more than 600 Russian and Indian students study India and Indian culture. I would now like to briefly focus on a few areas where, in my opinion, we may cooperate and benefit. Mr. Sir, in August, Russia registered its COVID-19 Pitron vaccine, which had been developed by Gamaleya Scientific Research Institute and Russian Direct Investment Fund. Amongst all the efforts exerted in different areas around the globe to develop a safe and efficient vaccine for the COVID-19 infection, the RDIF and Dr. Reddy's Laboratories Limited reached an agreement of cooperation to conduct clinical trials for Sputnik 5 as well as the distribution of the vaccine in India. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, the top leadership in our countries were always in touch and shared with each other in detail about the measures their countries were taking to resist the spread of this infection. India is among top 15 trading partners of St. Petersburg. The total trade turnover last year between India and the northwest region of Russia amounted to nearly $1.8 billion. The cooperation with India is steadily developing almost in all spheres, including in industrial and military complexes, mining industry, shipbuilding, energy sector, education, healthcare, and culture. Additionally, the priority of bilateral cooperation between India and Russia has been defense, energy, and airspace spheres. These continue to play a very important role, but there are other prospective areas of cooperation, such as this interregional cooperation. India is interested in attracting new investment and would certainly like Russian companies to invest in our country and use the opportunities of one of the largest and fastest growing economies of the world. Mr. Sir, port infrastructure, that is ports, shipping, inland waterways, IT and robotics, are certainly among prospective areas for development of interregional cooperation between India and Russia. In this regard, cooperation between St. Petersburg and Kolkata becomes very natural. The seafood here in St. Petersburg is a project of additional expansion of St. Petersburg on Vasilivsky Island at the Neva River's mouth. Construction of a new port in Nevska Guba began in the year 2005 and was already in operation in 2008 when the port received its first ship with passengers on board. Kolkata is the financial and business hub of Eastern India. The metro city has seen a significant rise in IT services. The main intention of government's focus on the project is to create a business-friendly environment for IT companies to set up their businesses in the city. Sir, on the St. Petersburg side, RUSSOFT is one of the leading software and information systems development companies with significant experience in creating projects for such business areas as telecommunications, mobile communications, banking, finance, IT, media, hospitality, and tourism. At the same time, St. Petersburg also has outstanding technical schools and universities which are ready to engage with businesses. Prominent among these are St. Petersburg State University, ITMO, St. Petersburg State University for Airspace Instrumentation, Polytechnic University, and St. Petersburg Mining University. Power Machines Corporation, the representative, we are regularly in touch with the Power Machines Corporation on a regular basis. And since he has already spoken about this particular area of cooperation, I will just skip it. Sir, in conclusion, I hope that Kolkata and St. Petersburg will only grow closer and their cooperation will be even more fruitful. I wish once this COVID scare is over, we would have a visit of both Kolkata and St. Petersburg leadership and officials to renew and further reinvigorate our relationship. Honorable Minister, sir, the consulate works in very close cooperation with the St. Petersburg City Administration, and this gives me the confidence that we may have very fruitful outcomes of such discussions. Thank you very much for your kind attention. And I would really like to some miscommunication, sir. We were told the event will start at 50. So from my side, I was 50 minutes late, but found that I am 15 minutes late. So thank you very much for your kind attention. It's possible, Bhashi.
Thank you so much, sir. You have really listed well the key focus areas which are there for cooperation, and thank you so much for your thought to support the business from the east and northeast part to St. Petersburg. May I have the privilege to announce to this group that we have with us Mr. M.K. Yadava, IFS, Managing Director of Pitron, Department of Information Technology, Government of Assam. Government of Assam is very keen to have interaction with the technology companies from Russia, and there is huge opportunity in the in the Assam area and in the entire Northeast for the technology sector companies. With this, I would now request Honorable Minister Yadava to kindly share his thoughts and share with the industry members from this side and the other side the opportunities which are there with them, the new infrastructures which you are creating to support the industry. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Parminder. I hope I'm audible. At the outset, I welcome Honorable Power Minister of West Bengal, His Excellency the CGI at St. Petersburg, Deepak Miglani ji, Girish Munjal ji, Vinay Kumar, His Excellency Alexey Idamkin, Mikhail Petrov, who spoke just a while ago, Ekaterina, Vadim, Parminder, Kallol, and dear participants in this August gathering and workshop on the Regional Business Summit organized by ASSOCHAM today, and I'm really pleased to join the galaxy of speakers and have the privilege of learning a lot and listening to the wise words and how things have gone even during this pandemic, and it's really a great going, I must say. At the outset, since I'm being from Assam, I would like at the outset to welcome you all to Assam. Assam is land of one-horn rhinoceros. We call it the Indian Great Indian Rhinoceros rhino, and Kaziranga is the abode of the world's famous rhinoceros. We had the privilege of hosting the British royalty, Prince William and Princess Kate Middleton, a couple of years back, and I was personally the host to them at the park. So I extend my warm welcome to all of you, to our respected CGI, Alexey, our Honorable Minister from West Bengal, and all the delegates. That while we talk business, I think first we must start with looking at wildlife, and there's no other place on this earth better than Kaziranga in Assam to visit, and winter is the right time, and of course we have the pandemic catching up on us in the winter, but still we hope God keeps us all safe, and we progress on the route of the business. And also I would say that Assam, as other speakers have been talking about, is the hub of oil and tea. Assam is known for the Assam tea, and Assam is also known for the oil, because it was in the 1901 when the first oil was struck in the whole of the Asia for the first time here in a place called Digboy. and I belong to that place. So I have oil connect and a tea connect and also wildlife. But then, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk a little bit about technology, because my job today here is to promote technology, electronics manufacturing, and a couple of other things that I wish to share with you, and hope that we shall be benefiting mutually. Assam is a great place with peace loving and a very fine climate, and here what we have done is that of course we have the giants like Kolkata, a great city, I must say, a very, very historic city, and there are other cities in India too. But then what we are looking at is we are looking at promoting Guwahati being the gateway to the Southeast Asia. Our neighbors being, Bangladesh, our neighbors being Bhutan, Nepal, and all the Southeast Asian countries, starting from Myanmar right up to Singapore. And there have been, we have had 2 rallies that we hosted right from Singapore to Guwahati, and it was really great. So I think we have a lot of land connect between all these countries. Nevertheless, information technology and electronics manufacturing, that is what currently we are looking at. We are right now setting up a city. We call it a city, we call it a tech city. Basically, we are focusing on technology. So what we have done in our state of Assam near our Guwahati airport is that we are developing a 100-acre plot of land where we are kind of building technologies. We are kind of building partnerships who build technologies. So for example, one of the things that we are doing right now is we are going great guns on quantum dots, nanoparticles. We are looking at how we can use quantum dots to produce solar cells, and solar cells that would be at least 30% more efficient than the current solar cells. We are kind of trying to look at produce LED bulbs based on quantum dots that would be much more white than what we now see in the market, and that also would change. Already you have heard about quantum dot displays, and that's one of our focus areas here in producing quantum dots as a raw material at the tech city in Guwahati, and revolutionize and bring down the price points in respect of quantum dots driven technologies. And at the same time, we are also looking at applications such as blockchain using quantum dots. Now that's very interesting, because all that the counterfeit is really catching up with all of us, and this is one technology by which we can fingerprint almost anything, be it medicines, be it oil, be it point-to-point sales of any product. So these are some of the things that currently we are exploring. We are having, we just had a couple of MOUs on these technologies with some of the companies in the US, and we are putting up quite a big pitch on this technology. At the same time, our respected CGI spoke about robotics, and I would add to that the high performance computing and resource mapping. So these are the areas which require a huge amount of compute power if you really want to access even your natural resources, predict good agriculture, or even predict disasters. You've got to do some kind of simulation work, then you need high computing power. So we are now trying to figure, go in this field where we can have high performance computing infrastructures, computing clusters, and we make these available to our students, to our researchers, to our scholars, who can do all the R&D and benefit the region as a whole, not only Assam, the whole of the Northeast, whole of the Southeast Asian region. And with that, I would also say that given the growth of IT, what we are now looking at is the challenge of skilling manpower in diverse technologies, as diverse as it could be turbine that Mikhail was talking about. Now, if I have to train a person in in this region how to handle 500 megawatt turbine, probably it will be difficult for me to show him one. So we are looking at augmented reality and virtual reality in a very big way. We have already signed our MOUs with one of the biggest companies in the world in this respect, and trying to set up a very large AR VR center at the Tech City that would really focus only on skilling in high-tech areas where we need a lot of skills for people to handle machines, which otherwise would be very, very difficult for us to train in situ environment. So these are the, and I'm happy that even CGI sir was talking about cyber security, and that is another area where in Northeast we are very particular, and is our focus area. We are building currently a cybersecurity hub where we want, again, the focus is on the manpower training. So we want to train up the future cyber experts of the region at this place. So we also pitch in with a lot of experts, and I'm looking forward because I heard a lot about Russia, about St. Petersburg, and I think there's a lot of expertise over there. And in the past, I remember a couple of times we did coordinate, in some of the projects with some of our Russian counterparts. So cybersecurity is one really stronghold of Russian companies, and would be very glad to actually welcome them here and and set up shop over the place. And so along with that, what we are doing is that, you see, one of the biggest hurdles in especially in electronic that's the test labs and all the facilities to prototype the product. So our focus is here that we want to create the entire setup for testing of labs. For example, we are looking at solar testing labs, all other kinds of electronics labs, PCB manufacturing, more than 10 layers, and that kind of stuff. So that, and even having a great hub of 3D printing, so that starting from the mold to the plastics to electronics, to testing, everything is available to the researcher or to the manufacturer or to the entrepreneur. He can test the product and he can launch it. And in fact, we are trying to, we are having a dialogue currently with some of the largest testing labs in the world to set up their shop here. And we are also setting up standards, testing labs. For example, say gold testing. You see, why gold is important? Gold is important because today gold is in all that, the antigen tests that the assay that we do through all the antigen tests, the H1N1 or COVID or all that kind of viruses. So we have a great focus on producing a very, very well-focused, well-sized gold particles in our facility, so that the entire delivery mechanism for the this test assay industry gets streamlined. And we have the technology, we have the partnerships, and we are looking at people to come forward and handled. So I just wanted to share some of these thoughts, and we have put up a small site for our Tech City for those who really wish to just have a look at it. techcity.in, and you can just have a look at it. And first of all, I would say that once again that Assam is a great place, and you got, and in fact the eastern region is a great place. So you all please do visit, and I invite Alexey, you are close home, so you please take time out, and we shall be happy to welcome you here in winters, and also all members. And with this, I thank ASSOCHAM for giving me this opportunity, for talking to all of you and having a dialogue, and I'm sure we shall carry it forward. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. You have not only presented the opportunities in the technology sector, you have presented the opportunities in the tourism sector as well. In other sector, tea is definitely one commodity which is going to Russia, though there has been some decline, but I'm sure it will pick up again. Just to add to what sir said, Alexey, Assam, not only just the rhinos and the national parks which are there, it's a good place for golf as well. So I can vouch for that. So just for you, Yadava sir, I happen to have done my master's in business administration from Guwahati University. So I so it was really lovely to hear to you, sir. And I'm sure Dr. Vadim Kokotkov, who is representing the RUSSOFT Software Development Association in interest in India, has made a good note of the points which you have raised about the cybersecurity, robotics, and the augmented reality and the VR, the opportunities which you are providing to the participants. So it is indeed great listening from you. I'm sure Dr. Vadim would add during his presentation his thoughts on what can be done further on this. We had thoughts from all of you, all the leaders here. It is now opportunity for our industry participants to share their thoughts, what they can bring forth for this region and what they would like to present to you, and also raise questions thereafter. I would now invite Dr. Girish Munjal, our partner for this program, to please come up on the system and take the conversation forward. Dr. Munjal, over to you. Please invite our eminent industry members for their presentation.
A very good evening to all of you. Honorable Mr. Chattopadhyay, Your Excellencies Mr. Idamkin and Mr. Biglani, and all the distinguished panelists here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All the panelists here, all the distinguished panelists, I would like to just say a few words about our center. We are into joint research programs in various fields, including trade and commerce, and humanities and culture also. The idea to get this conference and to do such a thing arose in St. Petersburg when I was visiting, and I attended the summit in St. Petersburg, where our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, and the President of Russia, Mr. Putin, they emphasized the interregional cooperation, economics cooperation. And the dream of holding such a thing came true with the full support of Consulate General of the Russian Federation in Kolkata and IIBN, the institute in St. Petersburg, and ASSOCHAM, which have brought and made this dream come true. This is the basic idea behind the thing, and as our center's name shows, Rifma is a Russian word which means rhyme. So rhyme in all spheres. So I hope this thing is going wonderfully well, and I congratulate Mrs. Kaur for such an excellent arrangement. We now continue further, and I would now invite Mrs. Ekaterina Lebedeva, who is the Vice President of St. Petersburg Chamber of Commerce. And I happened to visit their building, and it's a beautiful building with wonderful halls. So I would ask Mrs. Lebedeva to take over now.
First of all, sorry. Honorable Minister, distinguished guests and friends, I could say that you are friends. We have very good relations with the Consulate General of India here in St. Petersburg, and together we have a lot of events which are promoting Russia-India relations. To my regret, I have other appointments, so I will leave a little bit earlier, but I would like to make the contribution to our conference. I think that you already mentioned that St. Petersburg is an industrial center, and we listened to a presentation of Power Machine, which is very strong company here in Russia. We also very strong in shipbuilding, in IT sector. We have company which produce some sensors and data and equipment for smart city project. We have companies which are also involved in pharmaceutical industry, and you probably know that one of the vaccines against COVID-19 it's also developed here in St. Petersburg. But I would like to mention, you know, we are now our companies, they're especially small and medium business, they a little bit face some challenges. Of course, manufacturing sector probably didn't suffer from this limitation connected with this pandemic situation. But small medium business, they are now in a really difficult situation, especially businesses which involved in trade, entertainment, and some others. So, but in the meantime, the IT sectors, the different businesses which involved in online education or online platform for the conference, they show the increase. But I should mention that now our companies, they are ready to sell, but they are not ready to buy. So what does it mean? It doesn't mean, of course, that we stop any cooperation, but it's time it's time for the joint project. Also, I should mention that now in Russia we have quite good support of our Russian exporting company. That means that if Russian companies from small and medium companies, they decided to export some products to India, they could get some financial support or information support from the government. So that means that company, we have a lot of companies which are interested in cooperation in some joint project in India. We could, you know, help them, you know, to expand their business to India. We have a lot of requests, especially for Indian market. Also, I should mention that now the government they approve some decree which is make the limitation for the foreign producers to participate in the governmental procurement. I think that the situation is pretty the same like in India, because India also focus on some kind of import substitution and promote and attract foreign investment and foreign producers to the territory of India. What does it mean for India company? Of course, it doesn't mean that we will not buy, so it doesn't mean that we stop any cooperation or buy any foreign products, but it means that we could have some joint project, especially in machinery, because you know that Russia doesn't produce, for example, a lot of machinery for metal processing or something like that. That means that this sector and this cooperation, industrial cooperation in this sector could be also interest transfer technology or something like that. Of course, I should also mention that if we talk about India, India is one of our strategic partner. You are part of the BRICS. We cooperate a lot in industry. Of course, now the tourism sector is a little bit in difficulties, but I know that a lot of Indian tourists come to St. Petersburg to visit St. Petersburg, and you know that a lot of Russian St. Petersburg tourists they come for winter time to India. So what I would like to suggest to you, you know that we are now in difficult situation because we couldn't talk face to face, but I think that the business association, they could be, you know, a platform for this trans-border contacts. I would like to ask our colleagues from ASSOCHAM maybe to prepare the list of Indian company with their presentation of their project, which they want to propose to St. Petersburg, and we will try also to collect, proposals from our side, and also send to you. Maybe you could help us to find some partners for our company, and we will assist in contacts here in St. Petersburg for your company. And we also could exchange some information about investment opportunities. I know that I'm pretty sure that you have some benefits for the foreign investors, so you also could send to us this information, and we will try to to present to our company the opportunities in your region, how they could benefit from if they will install some production facilities in your region, and how this could help them to promote their products on Indian markets. Also, we already mentioned a very interesting and maybe for now it's very interesting subject. It's e-commerce. I know that you also in India have some big marketplace, so I think that it's also could be some kind of field for our cooperation. And also, as already the representative of Power Machine is mentioned, that for us is very important to identify the projects where our company could participate with their technologies, I know with their expertise or something like that. I mean that maybe you have some interesting tenders where our company could participate together with the Indian partners. So we also will be very glad to consider such kind of project, because you know that we are industrial city, we have a lot of research institution, and I think that I probably should say that if we talk about this group of BRICS company, I think that we have quite good cooperation, commercial cooperation or economic cooperation, especially with India, because I know that India and Indian businessmen, they also focus on cooperation, promotion of their products. So that's why I think that we have a lot of prospects in our economic cooperation. And of course, we are the chamber together with our partners, together, of course, with the consulate, our Russian consulates, and with the consulates of India here in St. Petersburg. We will try to assist and facilitate these contacts, especially for small and medium business, because big companies, they have assets, they have human resources, they have financial resources, but small and medium companies, for them, it's very difficult to find the good contacts and to develop their international business. So that's why I think that we should exchange this kind of information and maybe start to promote some projects, some special projects. So thank you very much. I would like to apologize that I couldn't to be with you till the end, but all the life online and a lot of different conferences in the same time. So thank you very much for the invitation, and I think that we will continue our cooperation.
Thank you, Mrs. Lebedeva. I'm so heartened that so many fields you have already mentioned of joint cooperation, economics cooperation, and especially the transfer of technology and e-commerce in the new world order, political world order. I'm sure there are a lot of opportunities for companies, your companies, to sell in India. So like you said, that they are ready to sell more than buy right now. So thank you so much. We hope to be in touch with you in future also. Thank you. Now I'll invite Mr. Vadim Kokotkov, who is the Vice President of Pitron Group LLC. So I pass on the mic to you.
Okay. Dear distinguished guests, very good afternoon. Pitron company is registered in India already for 5 years, and Pitron at the same time is a representative of RUSSOFT Association, It's association of, let me share my slide. Yes. RUSSOFT Association is industrial association of more than 140 members. And that's a company doing new information and communication technology development. And we already have some experience in indigenization and some solutions in India and some installations. Area of our interest is software co-development and application as a service. In the area of interest of artificial intelligence, face recognition, video surveillance, voice recognition and automatic translation, bio-identification as a combination of two previous items, cybersecurity software, as well as cybersecurity crime investigation as service. E-management, it's applicable for aircraft or ship spare parts supply chain in particular. Industrial Internet of Things, blockchain and quantum blockchain, as we already hear about quantum dots, it's a part of quantum blockchain technology. Marketplace and unmanned drive and robotics management, so it's including unmanned vehicles. They are not only software developers, they're providing some hardware solution as well. A case of super high productivity computers, national data center, quantum computers, satellite telecom equipment, DWDM, fiber optic equipment, and 5G, 4G elements. That's just a visual image how such kind of big supercomputer looks like. It's image of some telecom equipment which is available, as well as embedded software of our association members. And it's another example as a quantum key distribution for sensitive network cybersecurity solution. That's the latest our project. That's my very brief overview of our competence. We are looking for development of our partnership. We are registered actually in Bangalore. The RUSSOFT representative office is registered in Delhi area, and I'm visiting Kolkata before that COVID story quite often, and we are very interested to extend our activity and continue our cooperation further. And we are looking forward to do our solution with Assam as well. That's my very brief message for you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Kokotkov. That's another sector which I think is of great interest. I would now request Mrs. Parminder Kaur, please take it over.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Munjal. And we had some of the presentations. Dr. Munjal, you need to turn your audio off, please.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you so much. So we had some of the presentation. Dr. Vadim, you shared your strength area, but we would, and through Ekaterina, communicate the message to other association members that Assam has huge opportunity, and Mr. Yadava has shared sector-specific or vertical-specific information, which is open and is available for the Russian companies to explore. Due to paucity of time, we will not be able to take up too many questions. Since Honorable Minister is there with us, I would like Honorable Minister to extend some closing remark from you, sir, some input from you for the companies, those who are interested and are looking to have some inputs on what kind of long-term projects or the modernization projects which are there in West Bengal, so that these companies can explore. And then I would go back to Sam and to Mr. Miglani again. Honorable Minister, sir. Audio is off, sir.
I think ASSOCHAM has organized in this pandemic situation even, but I'm very much optimistic with the hearing from different companies and different partners who have attended this conference. I think that this is the historically proved that India and Russia is having hands in hands with long time. And Mr. Petrov and Idamkin, both of them mentioned that Russia has, since our independence, they are in hands and hands with India, and they're head to develop India in so many from different sides, different aspects, different topics, and everything. I think that this conference will come out with some positive activities like bilateral talks with, very recently, in the last year, I had been to Europe in different countries only for this purpose. We are maturing after due dialogue. So if you can arrange bilateral dialogue with the different companies, either in Kolkata or in St. Petersburg, whatever it may be, I think that will be much more result-oriented discussion. From here, we can understand what is the activities. There are so many companies in Russia, those who are preparing power in the big machineries of the power sector. And now, in the thermal power sector, we need such type of plants which minimum polluting, which is polluting the atmosphere. That is the very real need of the world now, and we have got certain old plants in our country, in the West Bengal. So we will be interested about that. The big machineries with minimum emission of polluting particles from the plant. Secondly, we are also interested in the sector, in the MSME sector. Rightly said, right now, Mr. Miglani has said, in the MSME sector, our state is very much developed, and we are leading in the country. In that sector also, it is very progressively we are going ahead in our state. We can also have a discussion with the companies, those who are interested, and both ourselves. Another sector is coal. Personally, you know that we have got the Deutsche Pachami. That is one of the second biggest coal mines in the world. We have got it from the government of India, and there is also a major scope of Russian counterparts to visit, and they can also contribute their ideas how to develop that mine. That is still there. We are working on that. So there are so many sectors where we can work jointly. We can also develop our relations with that companies. And so I would like to request ASSOCHAM to organize bilateral talks so that we can go deep into the matters and we can evolve certain things so that our business can mature. That is my idea from this ASSOCHAM conference, and I want to thank all of you, all of my friends from Russia and our business there are houses in India, and also from Assam, my friend also from there. He has also mentioned so many things. So there is ample opportunity to go ahead. Like previous years, we can go ahead with our business.
Thank you so much, sir. You rightly said there is need for more enhanced bilateral talks, and specifically with regard to the bilateral talks, ASSOCHAM would always like to take a lead on this matter to connect the industry people. I would like to have quick remark from Mr. Miglani and then from Alexey on further enhancing these bilateral talks involving the chambers and involving the consulates. Mr. Miglani, sir.
Honorable Minister, sir, distinguished participants, I would like to express my sincere thanks and gratitude for giving us this opportunity to participate in this conference, to share our perspective and to listen. Sir, we have a dedicated commercial wing in our consulate because we know there is potential of great rise in business and investment between Russia and India. We have a dedicated commercial wing so that we can address the queries received in a time-bound and efficient manner. And I will also use this opportunity, sir. We look forward to welcome you and your team of officers here to St. Petersburg. Thank you very much, sir, and thanks especially to you, Madam President, for organizing.
Thank you so much. Coming back to Mr. Idamkin, if we would like to have your closing remarks on this, enhancing further the cooperation, because there are a lot of Russian organizations which are coming, participating in Business Bengal global meet, which has been happening earlier in Modi.
It was an excellent discussion, very interesting, enriching, and I hope that this platform of interactive conferences can be continued, and it will be a good idea mentioned by Ekaterina from the Association of Businesses of St. Petersburg to connect the business organizations of both areas. This idea should be totally supported, and we as a consulate will do our best to promote the economic cooperation and also cultural between regions, this region of India and Russian regions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We are indeed grateful to Honorable Minister, sir, for having taken time and been with us. We are thankful to Mr. Yadava for having presented beautifully the opportunities which are available in Assam. I'm sure Alexey would like to visit Assam now. It's long overdue. And thank you, Mr. Deepak Miglani. Thank you, sir, so much for taking time. And I'm sorry for the confusion we had with regard to the time, sir, making you, join a bit late. Sorry, apologize. I apologize for that. And thank you, Mr. Alexey Idamkin, for supporting this initiative. I'm sure going forward we will do more such interactive session with the St. Petersburg Chamber and other chambers so that we can focus upon other sectors as well. So with this, on behalf of entire ASSOCHAM, I would like to thank you all for your kind presence. We will share the details and the presentations across to the right concerned people and look forward to work on the follow-ups which need to be done by the end of this event. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.